Hey everyone, Blockchain Bernie here, episode 388. Is native staking dead on Solana? That's an important question because if you look at all the statistics, it might seem like it. So I will go through all that in this little video. And when you watch it to the end, you walk away with knowing the statistics of native staking on Solana. Has it grown? Has it stagnated? Has it declined? And you know the statistics about liquid staking, and you know all the pros and cons about should you put your sol into native staking or liquid staking. So that's my my promise to you for watching this little video. So stay tuned and let's get started. So if we look at some of the stats here, right? So this is from Solana Compass, a very great site to get all sorts of statistics on Solana. So this is the stake growth over time, right? So it starts at, epoch 189. We're now at 789. So that's 600 epochs. That's almost like 1,200 days. So that's a couple of years, right? 3-4 years. That's since Solana's inception. And the total stake was a little bit low in the beginning, but then it entered the 40 billion sol mark, right? Is that 40 billion or 4 billion? I don't know. I hate people that don't do their 1,000 separators in here. But either way, you see over the years, right? This might have been at the FTX collapse or something like that. And it goes a little bit up and down, but it stays pretty much the same. So with all the growth that the Solana ecosystem has had over those past 4 years, shouldn't have the stake, like the native stake, have increased at least a little bit or so? This looks like, well, it's pretty much flat. And, it only looks like it's flat. It is really flat, right? So let's check out some other stats here. Let's go to DeFi Llama, right? DeFi Llama tracks all the decentralized finance TVLs, the total value locks, on different blockchains. I've selected Solana here. And as you can see, starting from June, July 2024, this is basically past 12 months. Look at that, how the total value locked, and this is mostly liquid staking, guys. I'll go into the details a little bit, but most of this is liquid staking, and it's growing like crazy. It's like here we were at like 270 million, right? And now we're around like 8 billion, 8.7, 8.8 billion, right? So it's like a, 40x, well, maybe 35x or something like that in a year, right? That's 3,500% in growth. Nothing like that here on the native staking front, right? But also native staking is not dead. It's like, people that are in there, it seems like they stay in there, huh? So, and also all those liquid staking pools, they then stake to individual validators that receive a native stake, just not from the end user, but from that liquid staking pool. And as you can see here, number one is Jito with $2.74 billion in total value locked. Isn't that impressive? And as you see, 99% of that is from liquid staking, right? So we're talking $2.7 billion in liquid staking locked in Jito, right? Camino doesn't have liquid staking. Jupiter has liquid staking somewhere. Here, yeah. Liquid staking. That's another 800 million, right? So we're like 3 point something billion now. And then Marinade does a lot of liquid staking. That's another 880 million, right? So I would say half of that. There's Binance liquid staking. Look at that with 1.3 billion. And so it's like 75% out of this here of the total value locked on the Solana chain is in liquid staking, right? So now let's go to the pros and cons of liquid staking. And, Xandium, Xandium is offering both, right? We have that liquid staking pool with, a lot of advantages and benefits, but we're still running our validator that you can stake to natively. And I just want to go into the pros and cons in this a little bit. And, there's like many people say like, okay, APY, right? Annual percentage yield, what gives you the greatest return? And believe it or not, in the whole Solana ecosystem, the best APY just hasn't always been the key criteria on what people actually go with, right? Both for staking and for other stuff. They just want to have trust. They don't want to know the project. They want to be involved in the project and all these type of things. They want to stake with companies that build something for the Solana ecosystem and build in their own ecosystem that they might profit off of. So there's many criteria that people usually put stake in, and otherwise you couldn't explain like most of the liquid staking going to Jito while they don't even have the best APY, right? So it's like, and if everyone would go for the highest APY, everything would be concentrated, right? We would just have one validator that gets all the stake because they have the highest stake, and we would have one liquid staking pool. So there's a lot of criteria why people do that, and I have one eye on my live chat here. So hey Dochi and hey Bikram, good to see you guys. I'm just watching a little bit here, so I'm still receiving the live messages. And so now let's look into Zandium, right? And of course, I'm the founder of Zandium Labs, and there is also Zandium Foundation that operates the liquid staking pool, or the DAO, basically the Zandium DAO. That operates that liquid staking pool, and then we have Zandium Ventures, who operates that Solana validator. So let's look into some of these things here. This is the Zandium liquid staking pool, and you can reach that at zandsol.zandium.network. I think I can probably drag this down a little bit. No, I cannot. Anyway, so zandsol.zandium.network. And you see our APY here is 11.65%. And that's like 7.3 for the base APY, which currently is a little bit lower than usual on all of Solana. It just has, the Solana inflation rate just has gone down a little bit the last few epochs here. But you get the boosted XAND rewards of 4.35%, which could become way, way more if and when the XAND token will appreciate in price, which we all hope it does, since the launch of the Munich release is just coming up. There's a few more P nodes being offered and all these type of things. So if you have followed the Zandium project and believe in it, it will definitely be a no-brainer to stake your SOL. If you have some SOL that you can use, stake it in this liquid staking pool. The liquid staking has basically two disadvantages as compared to native staking. At least two that I know of, right? So maybe you guys give me a few more info here. What other stuff is there? Again, hi Michael, hi Kuku. Good to see you guys. So liquid staking, first of all, has some sort of smart contract risk that you don't have in native staking, right? So, of course, with anything you do on Solana, you depend on the Solana blockchain being functioning properly, right? So that's a risk, like if Solana stops and it can never be restarted, which I feel like won't happen, right? It might stop again. We all hope it won't. It's like over 2 years now without an outage, but there might be outages again, but you never lose anything, right? Solana is designed in a way that when it gets restarted, nothing gets lost. But you depend on the Solana blockchain, right? It might, maybe tomorrow someone has a quantum computer and, can break it or stuff like that. So that risk is there always. But with liquid staking, there is a smart contract on top. And that smart contract might have, it might not be secure. It might have vulnerabilities that might get exploited someday. In the case of the Zandium liquid staking pool, we're using the SPL stake pool smart contract. That has been developed by Solana Labs back in the day. This thing is battle tested, and there is so many other liquid staking pools that are using that same thing. It's been audited by a dozen different auditing companies, I believe, or at least like 7 or 8, and some of them have audited it like 2 or 3 times. So it's a dozen or more audits that it has gone through, and it's not a complex program. So yeah, everyone can think for themselves what type of risk does that impose. I personally, for my funds, think it's a negligible risk. That's why I'm liquid staking also. But some people are like purists and say like, I want to avoid that smart contract risk, right? And that's, everyone makes that decision by themselves. And then there's another, you know, a little bit of a thing to consider with liquid staking, and that's taxes, right? That obviously depends on what jurisdiction you're in. But anything like US jurisdictions or any of the US states here, it is not really clear how staking and native staking and liquid staking is handled tax-wise. In the US, there is some clarity that came up a few years back about native staking, which is kind of favorable. But for liquid staking, it's a gray zone, because a liquid staking token, like our XAND Sol token, is different from your Sol token, right? So then you could argue like every time you sell your Sol and swap it for XAND Sol, that's what you do in liquid staking. This might trigger a taxable transaction, right? And while that is still a gray zone, because you could argue with the IRS and could say, well, it's just staking, it's just a different form of staking. But many people don't want to take that risk, of course. And so that's why, you know, liquid staking hasn't become all that popular, especially in the US, especially with people that have a lot of Sol, because that might be a big tax liability, right? It's not like more or less taxes, it's more about the timing, right? Because then when you sell your Sol for XAND Sol, then you would have to tax a gain, right? That you might have had on your Sol. And if you don't liquid stake it, just native stake it, you're not selling your Sol. So you're not selling it, there's no capital gain to tax there, right? So that's an important factor. So there might be a few people that say, well, maybe I'd rather want to native stake, and Zandium offers that as well. Let me show you that. That's our Zandium validator here. And that's run by an entity called Zandium.Ventures. So if you go to Zandium.Ventures/stake-sol, and that's all lowercase, stake-sol. We're going to put that in the description, that link. Then you come to this site, and then if you do like unstake here, I'm logged in with one of my wallets, so I have a few stakes active here on the Zandium validator. I could unstake them here, so it's always easy to unstake, and then you can stake here, and then you just give your amount of Sol that you want to stake in this wallet. I don't have much, but I could stake this Sol here, and it will be staked to the Zandium validator. This APY here is a little bit underestimated because it's an average over some time, and but the Zandium validator is regularly one of the best performing validators. But what we did when we started the liquid staking pool, right? And let's go back to the liquid staking here. If we go to that validator dashboard here on our liquid staking pool, then we will see the 4 validators here that the Zandium LST is delegating its stake to. And you can see that each of these validators here has a contributed APY of around 7.5%. So these 7.45% is what the Zandium validator does, and it has the native APY And then plus, it shares 20% of block rewards. And it shares an extra 2% of MEV, right? So 10% of MEV is already shared, but in the liquid staking, you get an extra 2% of the MEVs, which is driving up the APY, the native APY of this pool here, right? So you can see that all here, and you see the Xandium Labs validator gets 10,460 out of the 32 that we have already here. So we have like 32,000 locked in our liquid staking pool, and it gives you a total of 11.65%. That over time is one of the lowest, right? So usually you'll see like 12, 14, 16%, depending on the price of the XAND token, and also depending on the specific epoch that we're in. And some of those epochs give high rewards, and because there's a lot of transactions that are being processed, and other epochs give lower rewards, right? So these epochs, when the Trump token launched back in the day, it was like crazy trading volume everywhere. It was a lot of transactions. Everyone wanted to get their transaction through, so they paid priority fees. And the only place on Solana where you can get your fair share of these priority fees is staking to that liquid staking pool with Xandium. So that's important to know. So now, again, if you're part of the Xandium community and you say like, okay, I want to help Xandium, I want to support Xandium, I'm part of the community, I own XAND tokens, I want to do the best for myself, right? The best APY, right? I would say almost anywhere on Solana, you will definitely get with liquid staking your SOL to the Xandium liquid staking pool, and that's the xandsol.xandium.network. But, if you want to support us and the development to the max, there is that native staking as well, right? And if you check this native staking here, you won't get the best APY as you do with liquid staking, but you will help the Xandium project the most, just because all of what I showed you here, like the extra sharing of the block rewards and the extra sharing of the XAND tokens and everything, that won't happen with the native validator, right? And the native validator now has a commission of 5%. On that page that I just showed you, it still shows 0%, where we're changing that as we speak. And it's still a great validator. It is highly performant, and you might get like, what, 0.1% less in APY than if you would stake to the best validator out there with like 0%, but you can run a validator forever at 0% commission, right? And we turned on this commission for the Xandium validator just in order to help fund the development of the Xandium storage layer. So that is one thing I wanted to let everyone know. If you want to support the Xandium project and the Xandium storage layer as much as you can, consider native staking some of your SOL to the Xandium validator, and the link is in the description on how you can do that. All right, so what did I promise you? And let's revisit what I promised you in the beginning and see if we've met it for now. But before I do that, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. I have a simple ask for you. It won't cost you much, but it helps me a lot, and it helps the channel a lot. And like this video and leave a comment. That'd be just awesome. And I promised you so you know what liquid staking is, what native staking is, what are the pros and cons. You see the growth rates of both native staking and liquid staking. I showed you that. And I gave you an overview on how Xandium supports both liquid staking and native staking. And yeah, that was my little intro. Thanks so much for watching, guys. And let me have that other look here on the live messages. I don't want to ignore you guys, right? So there's a lot of messages here again. Howdy, Michael, Cuckoo. Then we have Flex Recap Studio. When is team updating new points tasks for airdrop 2? That will be, the tasks are being updated all the time. So if we're behind a little bit, let me know. I'll reach out to Kaveen so he will update the tasks. Oh, no tasks at point site for months? I would be surprised if that is true. There is new tasks with, like, we're adding the new videos and adding the new tweets like all the time. Warisomp says hi, glad to see you everywhere, especially on X. Love to see that. Mike Ebube when airdrop 2. So I had two things that we wanted to accomplish before we do the airdrop 2, right? One was giving the remainder of the airdrop 1, and we've done that, right? We've sent it out directly to those wallets. It was a big success. We have way more holders now. We also had a lot of people, like, the number of holders went up to 5,900, and then within 12 hours it went back down to 5,000. So we had 900 wallets that had nothing better to do than sell all of their ZAND, all of their, they didn't leave 0.01 ZAND in their wallet, right? They sold it all the moment they got it, right? And while that is okay, of course, and you might have your reasons for it, right? But it's not really why we're doing those airdrops. We want to get some people that are part of the community that, stake some and stake their ZAND and stake some SOL and do the liquid staking and spread the word about it, right? If we send it to people that, that same moment, right, like sell it all, that is fine, but it's not really helping the project, as you all can understand. But still, we have 5,000 now that are left, and they have not sold it, so that's fantastic. And but we want to be a little bit careful with the other airdrops, so that we airdrop it to the correct wallets and to those people that really become part of the community and all of that. And we're talking with an external service provider that has all these analytics about all these wallets and which of these wallets might engage with us in the future, might buy some P nodes or in the future, or might stake with us or something like that, right? And we're talking with these external service providers to help us do the right thing with the airdrop. And we want to reward everyone. Don't understand me wrong, right? If someone likes all my tweets and all that, and likes Xandium tweets, and that's the work they do, and we promise the rewards for that, and we do want to give those rewards. But there's a lot of things we can do with how many tokens for what and what kind of formula and all these type of things, right? It's not like we don't want to reward people for what we promised them, right? If that's all you want to do a few clicks and make a few bucks, that is fine, right? But still, we want to figure out who is who, and do the right thing that is the best for everyone, for the project and for the ones that do just that and do it for a quick reward, and for the ones that learn about the project and want to get involved in the project and want to see it grow and want to see their wallets grow over time. So those are all the three different interests that we want to get under one umbrella here, and we're figuring out how that works with that external service provider. So yeah, we're now on June 12th, so give us a little bit of time. And I cannot, as again, people are asking when, and when we're done, right? When we have worked with that service provider, then it will be out there. So, and but right now we're all all cylinders on launching the Munich release. We're going to have a big meeting on Monday next week with both the development team and the marketing team, the development team presenting to the marketing team how it all looks like. And, you know, it's quite a polished thing now, that Munich release, right? So we're updating the marketing team in that meeting on Monday about how the Munich release looks and how we're going to promote it. We have the first project out there on Super Team Earn. So we are giving out bounties. The first project that we have there is 500 USDC. But there will be larger projects and larger bounties and everything as we go. It's just our first test project, right? So that is a nice thing for anyone. And you know, I understand like 500 USDC is a lot of money in itself, but it might be a lot of money for people in certain countries where, you know, just the domestic product is not as high, right? So that is another way with the Super Team Earn. We have delayed it a little bit. We wanted to put it live today, but then I told the marketing team, well, hold on for a second. Let's just do that meeting on Monday, right? And see how the Munich release looks like. The documentation for the developer. I'm super psyched about how easy it is for developers, right? And again, it's for most of my audience here, it's probably not easy because it's software development, right? But the storage layer is built for developers. They need to build the apps, right? And then these apps become successful and they generate all the storage transactions and they go all into the XAND DAO, and all the XAND holders and the liquid stakers profit off of that, because the liquid staking is the storage powered liquid staking, right? The world's first storage powered liquid staking. So, we've done the rest of airdrop 1 was a big success, and we also proud to announce we finalized the season 2 XAND staking rewards. So there's a lot of people that have staked their XAND, and let me tell you something, if you own some XAND tokens, you want to stake them, right? And there is a site called StakeXAND.Zandium.network, and there you can stake your XAND tokens for 16% APY. So now you get 16% more XAND tokens after 1 year. And, you know, that's a lot of stuff. And we have a lot of people that own a lot of XAND, and they've locked it for a year, and they get a lot of extra XAND, you know, each and every quarter and each and every year. But you should do that. I mean, 16% is no joke, right? So rather than having your XAND tokens lying around, you can stake them there. And if you do that for a minimum of 30 days, you get these 16% APY. And 30 days is not really a long time, right? Anyone can afford to lock their XAND tokens for 30 days and get 16% annual percentage yield. So that's a great thing. And all the rewards are being paid out in seasons. We have 4 seasons a year. And we have that new page, right, where all the rewards, and there is like 7 or 8 possibilities to earn rewards, like 7 at least. So the link to that page is down in the description, right? Is it live yet? I could show it right here, huh? Yeah. It's Zandium.network/participate. Okay, let me show that here. So that new page, it's gonna be in the main nav bar. Is it in the nav bar yet? Oh yeah, okay. It's under community. So you have that here. Participate, right? So support Zandium and earn top rewards, right? Help humanity into a future of self-determination, freedom, inclusion, and decentralization of control. So first of all, above all these, it seems like the numbers don't show up for me here for some reason.
We have a Wix problem.
Okay, so it has the big 1 here and the big 2, so it's 7 opportunities. We'll fix that here. But it shows you on the top here, currently we're in reward season 3, so that people are not being confused about what season are we in. And we have the time frame here, right? And the previous season was the season 2. Why do we show the previous season? Because the previous season has concluded and you can claim your rewards for the previous season right now. While for the current season, you're earning rewards, right? And most of these rewards here come in seasons, right? The liquid stake, Sol for Zansol, you have the links here, and they come in seasons, right? So you can harvest on claim for season 2 now, and you can earn for season 3 right now, because we're in season 3. Stake XAND, same thing, it comes in seasons, right? So if you stake your XAND, you're earning for season 3 now, but you can claim for season 2. And by the way, we had that part B of the season 2 that was missing out. So we have resolved that. And the part B of season 2 claiming for the stake XAND is going to go live tomorrow to the latest. Then you can provide liquidity. And you also get XAND tokens as additional reward for providing liquidity. Links are here, right? Oh, wait, here we go. Stake XAND in the DAO, right? So provide liquidity. That's number 4. And then own XAND, right? Unlock governance power. You can buy it and then participate in governance. You can earn points and show your support and earn all these points. There's the earn here for the current season 3, and you can claim. Oh no, the airdrops are different, right? They don't have those reward seasons. So you can claim for airdrop 1 if you haven't done so already, and then you can earn for the current airdrop. And the tasks should all be up to date. So if they're not, I will check back with that. And then you can run a Xandium validator in the Xandium DevNet. So you can click here on the documentation and run that. And you can run a Xandium P node. All of these things give you rewards, right? So it's 7 ways to participate in the Xandium ecosystem. And we all have that in one page now. Okay, so let me get back to the live chat here. So let me see, where have I been here? Okay, that was airdrop 2. Thanks, Bernie. Keep it going from Dochi. Thanks, Dochi. Good to see you here all the time. Health Film Wellness Faith is asking, glad to be here. 5:50 a.m. Oh, wow, crazy. Yes, want the best APY and support Xandium project. So native staking is the way to help. Thanks. Worrisome, we love you. I love you too, guys. And Health, Wellness, Faith. We want community builders and tell everyone, understand this project and support Xandium in all ways. Then together we will all succeed. Well, that's the essence of it. I couldn't have said it better. And then Dochi again, all my XAND is deposited onto the Rams governance site. Thank you. Yeah, that's the way to do it, right? And, it's not like I hate people that sell that. It's for trading, right? Anyone can sell whenever they want. I just think it's also in their best interest to keep some, right? To keep some and see how the project is going and learn about what Xandium is all about and help spread the word and all these things, right? It's just, I think it's the best for everyone. Be here for the long game. Yeah, thank you. Worrisome. S3 should be retroactive. Michael Hill, when will the DAO start? Oh, season 3, you mean, should be retroactive? Don't know how you mean that. Maybe you can rephrase somehow. Michael Hill, when will the DAO start to make the decision about airdrops? So we will first discuss that with the external service provider that we have, and then we will make a proposal there of the airdrop 2. And it's going to be paid out of DAO reserves, right? So it's going to be the DAO that decides about that. Elaine, hi Bernie, everyone. Sorry to be late. Absolutely love Zandium. Yeah, we love you too, Elaine. You're here often, huh? Michael, could you say some words to the Radium pool and the new rewards coming tomorrow? Yeah, thank you. I have it in my calendar. I saw it, so I will top up the rewards today so that everything goes smoothly by tomorrow. Thanks for the reminder, Michael, again. When will the XAND staking rewards issue for the DAO to be resolved? Yeah, I think I mentioned that for season 2, the XAND staking rewards. Some of you guys have received slightly too much, and we're okay with that. It's not that large of an amount. So due to an error on our side, there was a little bit too much for a few of you. And then otherwise, we have resolved everything. There's another 5 million XAND to be claimable right now. It's all done in the back end. We have the Merkle distributor funded, the Merkle distributor created and funded, so it's all there. It's just a little change in the front end that Kaveen is doing. I'm actually not aware, so he's going to stop working. He's in India, in Sri Lanka, excuse me. He's going to stop working right now. I need to check if he has updated the claim page, right? Let me check it here. But, you know, if it's not today, it should be there tomorrow, right? So to the latest by tomorrow, we're going to have that all up and running. Okay. So the issue is resolved and it will show up, I would say, tomorrow. Then Flex Recap Studio, I meant no new task has been updated. I love your work and what you're building. All right. Good. So Mike Ebube, yes, to $500 Nigeria is about $1 million. Yeah, I absolutely understand that. But you can still leave a little bit in there, right? You know, guys can, you know, I love to help people in Nigeria to get caught up to the developed world, to get, you know, get part of the financial system. And you know, I love all you guys' enthusiasm for crypto and stuff like that. And yeah, I understand it's a lot of money, right? So with that super team earn thing, right? The first project is $500. I think the first prize is 100 or so, and the second prize is 50, or the first is 200. I don't remember it, but you will see it when it goes live, right? So the top 5 will get those $500, right? And it's a little task of just creating a Twitter thread about Zandium and why you love Zandium and what it can do to the world and XYZ, right? And just the best 5 of these Twitter threads will get these rewards, right? And I would be happy to give these to, you know, a lot of countries in the world, right? So I love that. So Mike Ebube, if you want us to participate in P-Node, please reward us with good token amount. Okay, I'll see that. I also see with the P-Nodes, right? It's like it's an upfront investment, right? It's like we made it 35,000 ZAN back in the day, and then you get back the 35,000. You get 10,000 a month, right? So after 4 months, you have it back. But then, you know, I understand it's an investment that not everybody can make, right? The 35,000 ZAN, it was like, I don't know, right? So at some point it was like $500, $600, $700. And I understand that's an investment, even though you get it back over the next few months. Not everyone can do that or wants to do that. So that's a good point. Let's think about that for the next P-Node sale. However, yeah, it's always you know, a balance between, okay, we want to include everyone, but on the other hand, you know, everyone wants to be included. So somehow we need to make sure they have what's called skin in the game. So it's always good to have some stake and to have some, you know, financial skin in the game to be out there. but it's a balance, right? And there's different things, and in some of them we do need that skin in the game and kind of a high deposit or initial investment. On others we might not. And thanks for making me aware of that again, and we will definitely keep that in mind to keep a lot of things there that don't need a lot of upfront investment, right? And that's what the points program is all about, right? You don't need to invest more than just your time to like a tweet or reply to a tweet or stuff like that. Okay. Flex Recap Studio again. I'm here for the long run, though I didn't really participate in season 1, but I received XAND token in my wallet and I'm bullish. Okay. Thank you once again for organizing this video to educate us. Thanks you guys, right? We can only do it together, right? And it's like, it's really like, let's thank each other, right? Because yeah, it's a symbiosis, huh? Worrisome, we love you, Bernie. I keep building and we keep supporting. And then, yeah, and that building, you know, anyone that wants to build apps, and you know, it's just a few days left until you see that kind of description on our websites, the Zandium Web3.js, right? So Web3.js is a big thing in crypto. It started with Ethereum. They made their Web3.js, and JS means JavaScript, and it is for the front ends of some apps that you build on the web. And you want to connect your code that you have on that web browser using JavaScript to the blockchain. That's what the Web3.js is for. And Solana has its own Web3.js, which is a, you know, it's a behemoth. It's a monster. It has thousands of functions, right? And I'm really proud that the Zandium Web3.js, which is kind of additive, it comes on top of the Solana Web3.js, right? But then you use the Zandium Web3.js, and it's small, right? You will see that. It is really, you can read it in an hour and understand it. If you're a programmer, right? If you're a programmer and developer, you can read it in an hour and understand it, right? You can feed it into AI and ask about its opinion on that, right? And that will be out there really, really soon, and then people can really build on it. And that's our main focus. We need developers that have ideas, that want to build an app on the blockchain that can make use of that storage layer, right? And I really think most apps need a storage, you know, because in Web 2, most apps need storage, lots of storage, right? And for most of the ideas that you have for apps, you need storage in some way or the other, right? But now finally, you can build all this on the blockchain. And if you know anyone that wants to build apps and stuff like that, it's all going to be out there on Super Team Earn. So some ideas that we put out there and the demo apps that we are building. And the demo apps are super exciting, right? We don't want to only rely on other people building great apps. We want to build one or two great apps ourselves, right? And again, compare that to Apple back in 2008 when they started the App Store, right? They had like a handful of apps that came from Apple to show how it all works. And then came thousands and thousands of other apps by third parties, right? And that's about the same, right? And we want to build our demo apps, and I think it's likely going to be the responsible AI thing that I have the most confidence in, that it will help us make some waves, because that's all it is. We need to generate way more buzz in the industry and in the press and in everywhere to in order to get way more people interested in all this stuff, right? And you know, we have the decentralized Wikipedia, which is one of these things that could generate a lot of buzz, but I think the responsible AI thing can probably generate even more buzz, and it hits the nerve of the time. You know, there is nothing more powerful than an idea whose time has come. I think that quote is contributed to someone whose name I just forgot. Victor Hugo, right? So that is like, if I pronounce it French, it's Victor Hugo. I don't know if he was French. Maybe it's just Victor Hugo. Not sure. So that guy made that quote. And it's a great quote, by the way. Okay. Then again, also, I think maybe new points tasks are not visible to new users because I joined that season 2 points airdrop. Would love to see more new tasks. Some points airdrop. Please take more coffee. All right. It's going to be Kaveen who's doing that. He is in Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka was a British colony and they drink tea, right? So they do drink some coffee sometimes, but mostly they drink tea. But that'll help also. I'll let Kaveen know. Thanks for the nudge there. I'll look into that. Why Metro? The XAND stake page still refers to the Realms Today version, not the new Zandium DAO version. Okay, that's also a good hint. Yeah, we'll take a note of that. It's you mean the XAND Sol page, right? Yeah. Okay, so we look into that. What is the link for the rewards page? Again, it's visible in. So let me show that again. Someone's asking for that. If we go to Zandium Network, you have it here under Community. You just go to zandium.network. That's the main page, and then you go to Community. Hover over this here, and then you have the Participate page here. Right. That's how you get there. Okay. What's that? Oh, okay. So, and then Michael Hill, maybe you can add the XAND to XAND rewards claim. Oh, I forgot one. So it's 8, right? It's 8 ways to earn here. So that's a good one. Verena took a photo of this, so we will do it. Worrisome, retroactive, season 3 should be based on stake, buy, and do some other XAND transactions to earn XAND points. That's for the airdrop, you mean, or for? Yeah, not sure what you mean, but you can reach out to me on Discord or something. Brad said it during the AMA we had on X. So cheaters will have their way out. Yeah, so we rooted out the cheaters, right? For in airdrop 1 already. So, and in airdrop 2 we will do that even slightly better than we did in airdrop 1. And you know, it's important because we have that whole budget, and it's all for you guys, the honest airdrop participants, right? And we don't want to give it to the cheaters. Nobody likes that, right? So we withheld it. We did our analysis, and then after the analysis was finished, we paid out these 10 million to all of you, 10 million XAND to all of you, the honest points participants. Okay. So good ROI, and then health, wellness, faith, Zandium waves. Yeah, create buzz with developer apps building on Zandium. Absolutely. The link is in the text there. Why Metro? Yeah. And you know, why Metro? Now you're saying that. Good ROI. 25 or 35,000 XAND you paid for a P node, but then you get 10,000 per month in XAND. You have to pay the hosting for that, which is just $5 or $6, right? So still after 4 months, you have it back if you run that P node, right? And onboard it. And thanks everyone for onboardings. We have over 250, I think close to 260 out of the 300 onboarded now. That's fantastic. Thanks to everyone who helped. Everyone from the community who helped others get theirs onboarded. That's fantastic. We have learned we're going to make it way, way cheaper in the next era when new P nodes will be sold. And for the 40 that are not onboarded, we will about 40, right? I will come up with the exact number, but let's just say for simplicity's sake, it's 40. So we will sell 40 more P nodes, right? And again, it's not like they will be taken away from someone. We will just sell 40 more P nodes that will then have the opportunity to onboard, because we'd love to see 300 onboarded P nodes right now in the South era. That is starting really, really soon with that Munich release. So yeah, that's going to be happening really, really soon. But you know, the real value of the P node is not those 10,000 a month that you earn in rewards. That is nothing, right? The real value of the P nodes is you are an early P node operator. And then there's the Zandium Foundation delegation program, right? So, and you know, the Zandium Foundation has hundreds of millions of ZAND, right? In its, as you see in the tokenomics, right, which are all public. So the Zandium Foundation will stake a lot of these ZAND to P node holders, but it's not enough to just get a P node on mainnet for free, because it's all permissionless on mainnet, right? Then you can do that, right? But you need to get the stake on your own, which will be tough. It is, especially for people that, you know, are not good at marketing or self-marketing or anything like that. You will be dependent on the Zandium Foundation staking ZAND to your P node. And this program, it will come out soon as a legal text, right? So if you already earned P nodes in the Deep South, you will get some stake from the Zandium Foundation. If you got your P node in only the South era, one era later, you will get a little bit less. And the later you come, the less stake you get. And if you don't have a P node on DevNet, you will never get any stake. And that's happening in every blockchain, right? If you look at Solana, you want Solana Foundation stake some SOL to you, you need to run a validator node in their testnet, right? It's not like, oh, you only do it on mainnet and then you'll get it, right? No, they incentivize the DevNet and the testnet through those delegation programs. And that is something that will make a huge, huge difference, right? It will be, you know, the possibilities for you to make money off running a great P node with that stake delegated, and hopefully you can make some stake of your own. If you're like a community member that's on here all the time, right? It's like I read Y Metro all the time. I read Warisomp, I read Michael, I read Dochi, I read, you know, all these guys. These are well, and MacPisic, or however I pronounce you. All these guys are there always. People will stake to them, right? Because they are present in the Zandium community. They keep being there, and that's what I see in the Solana community. You're part of that community from early on. You're kind of an old guy. Everyone knows you because you keep posting on Discord. You keep posting here on live chat on my YouTube and all of these stuff. You will get more stake, not only the one from the Zandium Foundation. So that's going to be your rewards. That's going to be your rewards, guys. And those are like 1 million as large as those 10,000 Zandia or something. That's all peanuts, right? If the network is really successful, and we have those apps and the demo, our own demo apps, other people's apps that are successful, and all these transactions, these storage transactions will come in by successful apps that build on Zandium. This will all come in, and you know, we're all gonna make it in that event, right? And especially the ones that have the early P nodes. I cannot stress that enough, because it seems like people don't really get it. I really get it because I'm in Solana, right? And I was in Cardano for a while, and I did run a Cardano validator. And some others. I was into Findora for a while, and ran a validator there also. And you see it everywhere. The ones that are there early, and that ran the early nodes through the delegation programs of the foundations, it's also there with the others, and it is there also with Zandium, right? these will be the ones that are the most successful. And it's going to be amounts, if all these, Zandium needs to execute. We need to build that whole thing. But the Munich thing, the South era, you will see it in a week or so. And also these demo apps need to be there, or all the other apps need to be there, and some of these apps need to be really successful so that we have a lot of transactions coming in. But if that happens, we as the initial team here, and you guys as the early community and as the early P-node operators, I can't say it enough, right? That will be a financial rewards that is unthinkable. And is not comparable to 10,000 ZAND a month or anything like that, and that should be the real reason you're doing this, right? It can be 10 million or 100 million ZAND or something like that, and you're going to be paid in Sol, by the way, also. So because the storage currency is all going to be in Sol. So that's the real ROI. And I cannot give you an ROI in numbers here because it's just dependent on so many factors. And it's dependent on the apps that are being built and how many transactions will these apps generate, and how much storage will these apps generate. But if it comes, the ROI is something you can only dream of today. So, and I want everyone to understand that. That is the reason we're getting these early P nodes, right? There will be 40 or so more on sale, and we will likely do an auction concept to sell off these 40 more. The one we're thinking about right now is to make it what's called a Dutch auction. So the Dutch auction works like we have a ceiling price, a high price, and then see if somebody buys for that. And if not, we'll drop the price, right? And the price keeps dropping until somebody buys, right? So that's how the Dutch auction works. That's what we're thinking right now. We don't know how easy it is to make. We also want to make it like the payment 50-50. You'd have to pay 50% in ZAND and 50% in USDC. And that's just because we want to raise a little bit of money in USDC so that we can pay our development team and raise a little bit of money for the development of the storage layer, right? So it's going to be like 50-50 ZAND and USDC that you'll pay for those 40 more P nodes that are going to be on sale. And if we can, right, if it's not too difficult for us to implement, we want to do that Dutch auction, starting high, and then maybe every hour, every day, I'm not sure, the price drops, right? And then maybe every minute, I'm not sure, right? We'll figure that out, right? And then as the price is dropping, you can get in or not, right? So yeah, that's how it's gonna work. Wagmi, yeah, absolutely. Early bird catches the worms, yeah, fantastic. Will you sell remaining P nodes as NFT on the open market? Maybe, I don't know. We don't know how we can implement that best. That's a great question. Why Metro? We don't know if it's going to be an NFT. We're going to be looking into that next. We had to resolve the ZAND staking rewards now. That's resolved, and we needed to get Munich finalized. It is really finalized. We have that joint meeting between development and marketing on Monday. Does that go for the original nodes too? Yeah. I don't know what that means and what original nodes mean. So before I answer anything, need to know what you're referring to here, McPissick. Then Health, Wellness, Faith. Will the Zandium Foundation stake across all Deep South P nodes evenly? That I don't know. It's also a great question. Probably all Deep South nodes, but also if they meet a certain a performance threshold, and also if they onboarded in time and you know were online enough and stuff like that. But then otherwise, likely evenly, there might at some point later, right? Once we're in in the next releases, there might be a stake match thing, right? So what Solana does is like they give you a certain amount of stake that is the same for everyone. But then they say if you have already 10,000 XAND in stake from someone that's not Foundation, then Foundation will double it up. They will match it and give you another 10,000. But if you have 20,000 from third parties, they give you 20,000, right? So that's how Solana does that, and likely we will do the same. We will give a certain amount, that's a flat rate, and everyone in Deep South will get it. But then there will also be a match thing, right? If you were able to get some stake from some third parties, the Foundation will match it. That's how it's likely going to end up. Early bird catches the worm. McPissick, hello Bernie, hello McPissick. Michael, early believer, is a big XAND storm is coming. Yeah, I love that XAND storm term, and if we ever have these conferences, we're gonna call them XAND storm. WAGMI, worrisome. What does WAGMI? Oh, WAGMI means we're all gonna make it, right? So that's you need to know that on Twitter, right? WAGMI, and there's also NGMI, not gonna make it. You can tweet that also. Tweeting is a lot of fun. If you really look at people on crypto Twitter, follow all the right people and see how they do things, it's fun, right? It's really fun, and learn these terms. MSGA, make Solana great again, yeah, or make Xandium, or whatever, yeah, make Solana great again, maybe. Has the P node install become easier? It will become in the next season, right? So we couldn't do it for these 300 Deep South things, right? So it's like for the next ones in the South era, we are going to make it way, way, way easier. I just want to say it'll never be 100% easy. And there's a simple reason for that. This is a blockchain and it's decentralized, so you have to run a server, right? It's only super, super, super easy if we do it for you, right? You could, we can make you pay for the server, but we could run everything. We could have the keys, and, all the complications that you have is only for that SSH key that lets you access that server, and you need to own it, right? It's easy for us to generate that key for you and log in there for you and just make a website but that's not, it's if we were able to control all P nodes, that's not good, right? That doesn't mean decentralized storage. So you have to run, and you have to own your keys, and you have to use your keys to log into your server. And that's everything, all the complication that we left. Like all the other complications we took off of you. You even have a nice web interface to manage your node. That's unheard of. No other blockchain has that, right? You have a web interface where you can generate your keys, you can stop your node, and you will see all the other things that you see in Munich. It's all web-based, right? Just the access to it. You need to have your own key. Yeah, and that's all it is. All we asking you when installing a P node is like generate your SSH key and use it to log into your, that's all, right? After the key and the access, everything we do if you use our software, which you should obviously on the P nodes, everything's super easy, right? But you need to have the key. It's not like we can make it super easy and just, okay, we take the key for you, right? We manage the key for you, right? But we don't want to do that. It's supposed to be a blockchain. It's supposed to, further our mission of, making things more decentralized, helping humanity for a self-determined future, all of that. So you need to manage your key. But we still will be finding ways to make that way, 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 way more simple, right? And it was an experience for us that even that 1% that we couldn't take off of your shoulders, just managing your key, right? The rest we took off of you. And you know, I was like, oh, everyone will be so happy that it's all web-based, right? You can manage your node web-based. Nobody praised us for that, by the way, right? It's like, but it's not there in any other blockchain, right? You'd have to manage everything using the command line. For us, it's only getting your key, creating your key, using your key to log in. That's the only thing we expect. So it is already super, super easy, but we saw the struggles that people have. And it's not a simple thing if you don't do that on a day-to-day basis. You know, it's tough to create your own SSH key and to manage it and keep it in a safe place and all these type of things. So we will be making that way, way easier, and we hope we succeed in that. But I'm just saying it can never be 100% easy, because you still need to be the one running that server, and you need to be the one safeguarding your key. Only you should be able to access that P node with your key that you generated on your device, right? So yeah, so that 1%, you know, we feel like we already revolutionized 99% of it because we have a web interface to manage your P node. We didn't have that with the validator nodes, by the way, and it's still not there for Solana validator nodes. So it's super, super easy. But just to get started to create that key and all that stuff, that's a little bit of a hurdle for many, and we will radically simplify that for the South era, right? And it was clear we can't do it for Deep South anyway. That has already been started, and I'm glad we have so many P nodes onboarded now, that all of you guys that took the time to learn all these details and go through all those technical steps. It's not easy, right? So thank you guys for going all through that. And there's just maybe 40, or we will see, however, and we will sell 40 more and hopefully get those onboarded. Michael, so should it be better to withdraw some XAND token out of the DAO to put them into our own P nodes to increase volume? You know, at some point, maybe you want the whole staking, right? The XAND staking right now. We don't have XAND staking to P nodes yet, right? That's just the future. But when we have that in some later release, then the staking of XAND in the DAO will be discontinued, right? So the way to stake XAND will then be with the P nodes, and it won't be with the DAO anymore. Right. And at that point, yes, you'd have to unstake it from the DAO at that point. Then the question is, if you have locked it up for a long time, will there be another way to do that? And there likely will be, right? We don't want to penalize people for having locked up their XAND in the DAO for a long time. So we will be able to see that you have locked tokens in there, and we will be able to you know, to provide you a way to stake these XAND to a P node and to your own P node, or some other if you want, even though it's locked in the DAO. And I hope we'll find a way for that. I'm not a P node user yet. I have a cool laptop. Was planning to wait for mainnet. If a user access P nodes on mainnet, do they also earn or have an opportunity to earn? Okay, so let me try to digest that question again. It's from Flex Recap Studio. I'm not a P node user yet. I have a cool laptop. Was planning to wait for mainnet. Don't wait for mainnet. Don't do that. No. If a user access P nodes at mainnet, do they also earn or have an opportunity to earn? They have an opportunity to earn, but all their earnings are proportional to the number of XAND that is staked to their P node, right? So if you have a lot of XAND on your own, you can just do self-stake, right? And take your XAND and stake it to your own P node, and then you earn. if you find others and can convince others to stake their XAND to your P node, right? So there will be a lot of people that buy XAND from somewhere and in exchanges and stuff like that. And then they can either have it lying around or they can stake it for an APY, right? If they want to stake it, once the staking is transitioned from DAO staking that we have right now to P node staking, right? Then people will have to find a P node to stake their XAND to. And if you think you can do some marketing to convince some people to do that, the best thing is also doing some really little apps that help people, right? And then people come to your app and they see that, and you have a little message in there that says, stake your XAND to our P node. That also helps. So yeah, you can make money on mainnet, but you need to get stake. And the easiest way to get a lot of stake early on is the Xandium Foundation Delegation Program. So you can get stake just like this from the Xandium Foundation, right? But you only get that when you run a DevNet P node, right? And the earlier your DevNet P node, the more stake you get, right? So I can only repeat that so many times, get a P node as early as possible, and we will have the wording of the delegation program out there so that you have it like black on white. You have it on paper that this is how the program looks like, and you need to have a DevNet P node, and in all of these eras, the earlier you have it, the more stake you get, right? So, and that's my task for the next few days, to work with a lawyer to get this delegation program completely worded out. All right, so at some point, I think we need to come to a conclusion of this long call here. Next one is Health, Wellness, Faith, LMXG. Let's make Xandium great. I love that, LMXG. Well, that's our new slogan. Huh? I will tweet about that, man. Mike Ebuba again. Please, Bernie, do airdrop 2 before releasing the next P node. That will, yeah, I get that. So that I can buy the P node. Absolutely. I understand that. That's a good point, Mike. Let's do it. Can you take a photo, Verena? There's so many things here that I need to follow up on, right? I don't want to forget them. Thank you. Software runs great. Thank you. Yeah, thanks for the shout out. Please, Bernie, try launch airdrop 2. Yeah. So I have that. And then Barry Conway. Hey, good to meet you. Will it be better to have, say, 4 nodes with XAND or 1 super node with 4 XAND? That is a good question. So right now, it helps to have many P nodes, because that will be part of the Xandium Foundation delegation program also. But then in some era, it might be the South era, or it might be the mine era, where we consolidate that, right? And then at some point, it won't matter. It's only about the amount of XAND that you have, and whether it's the same amount of XAND is distributed over 4 nodes or all on 1 node, it won't really matter, right? Many people just want to run many, like 2-3 P nodes just for redundancy, right? If one of them fails, you're down to like 0 income. If you have 3, if one is down, you still make income from the other 2. But for now, it's important. It's the only thing important in the Deep South era is the number of P nodes, because there is no XAND stake yet, right? The XAND is still being staked in the DAO. But once we transition the XAND staking from the DAO to the P nodes, then at some point it won't matter anymore what the number of P nodes was, right? You can consolidate them if you want to 1 for the total number of stake. But as for now, for the Deep South era, you will, the Xandium Foundation delegation program later on in mainnet, it will give you extra stake for each P node that you had in the Deep South era, right? So it directly profits you to have many P nodes in the Deep South. I hope that clarifies it. Then why Metro? Most consumer ISP give dynamic IPs. You cannot do it with dynamic IPs. And, you know, I refuse to entertain any kind of like, you know, it's like, okay, a business, you know, your home internet costs what, like $100, and your business costs like 200, and in order that you save $100, you make me work for $10,000? No, not gonna happen, right? So you need to have a static IP. No way to do it with a dynamic IP, right? And you can just use a data center for $6 a month. They have a static IP, right? It's not going to work with dynamic IP. Sorry, guys. So most consumer ISPs, let's read that, why Metro, give dynamic IP addresses, and the currently best priced VPSs have servers in 3 cities in Germany. Will the P nodes be distributed well enough around the globe to make a good testnet? It will be. Right now we're in DevNet and we're in Deep South. So if we're a little bit centralized, like concentrated with our P nodes right now, that's fine. But as soon as we get into the South era, we need to figure out how can we get some geographic decentralization here, the same as Solana does that from time to time also. And again, the foundation plays a role in there, right? So if you're in a city where so many others are, you get less stake, you get less storage, a lesser score, and you get less stake from the foundation, right? So that way we manage that. And but right now, you know, it's Deep South, right? We need to get it. We need to get a prototype up. We need to get it working at all. We cannot do everything at once. But the decentralization is definitely going to come, and it's going to be managed through the Xandium Foundation delegation program that will support geographic centralization. Oh, Kesla. Who is Kesla? The Health Wellness Faith? Are you Kesla? Oh, that's why you mentioned 5:50 a.m. You're in Australia, right? Nice, nice. Glad to have you here. Michael Hill, are there plans to eventually allow P node transfers? No, definitely no, and no. Okay. So yeah, kind of sad I have to end this video with the word no. I don't like the word no, actually. So I'm mostly a yes man, and you should too, right? It helps in life just to be positive to anything. And yeah, man, I've almost been talking 2 hours. I think it's the longest video I've ever made. Oh no, it's not. It's like we only started at 12:30, right? So, but it's over an hour. So it was a good video. It was fun. Thanks again for asking all these questions. I love that participation in the live chat, even though this wasn't announced as an AMA or anything like that, right? It just happened on the fly, and you guys were just there, and I love engaging with you guys, so I didn't click away those live chats and just responded to them. But now, finally, thank you. Thanks, guys, for watching.